Devils season finale. Devils lay another stinker as per usual. Monday! Don't laugh over me. Don't laugh while I'm doing my little monologue. You know how the fans feel when we talk all over each other. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Scotty of SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, the favorite podcaster of fans all over the place. Streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, Don't Say Anything, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Oh boy, do we have a fun post game for you. Scotty, you may do the uninterrupted, unhappy Devils recap as we lose to the filth down in Philly. Hey, but before you do this unhappy Devils recap, let me just say, at least this Philly team did not tank it and was actually trying to win, unlike the other team across the street called the Eagles that just mailed it in,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I see. All right.
I'll just say that.
Okay. All
Scotty,
right. Very nice. Very
you
nice,
have
sir.
the forum. You have the forum.
All right.
Yep.
Well, yeah, kind of a little bit of a stinker of the game there halfway through. The Devils kind of went to sleep. Started out pretty well, though, in the first. Came out playing hard. Had Scott Wedgwood there in goal. Probably his swan song. I don't know if they'll re-sign him. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. We'll see what happens. But Wedgwood in goal. Mackenzie Blackwood gets the night off. And it started off real good. Pavel Zacha puts home his career-high 17th goal of the season from, you guessed it, Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt. And what a goal it was. Jesper Bratt just working the puck down, getting it to Nico, who then just makes a backhand pass, like no look. He's fading towards the right, back towards his left, right onto Pavel Zacha's stick, and just slams it home. That was just a beautiful, beautiful goal. And, things were looking up for the Devils. You're like, oh, yeah, here we go. Playing the Flyers again. But, Philly did eventually come back. However, in the first, Yanni Kuokkanen also a hell of a rookie campaign for him. And the guy who got an assist on this goal, Yegor Sharangovich. But Yanni Kuokkanen, his 8th, Sharangovich's 14th assist. And would you know that Will Butcher once again finds himself on score sheet. We talked about it before. We're going to talk about it again because I think we made a couple mistakes when we were talking a little expansion draft last night. So we got a couple corrections. But I'm still thinking Will Butcher is looking like he's played his way back into coach's favor. So we're going to have to discuss that a little bit because it was an obvious one beforehand. But now, we got to see what's going on there with Will Butcher. But then the Flyers come back. They score 4 straight goals. Did they get any power plays? They did have one power play, Van Riemsdyk, and that was basically it. After the first period, Devils kind of went down there. They were up 2-1. I will say that the Flyers started playing well at the end of the first period. And then, last game of the season, Flyers home ice, it just kind of looked like the adrenaline took over. And that's the last game of the season, kind of looked like the Devils, they were kind of like a little out of breath there. End of the season, had a pretty crazy run with all these games and the COVID shutdown and the amount of time. So 4 straight goals from the Flyers. Shots on goal, Devils 11-8-6 for a total of 25. Flyers 10-10-11 for a total of 31. Face-offs, they got the slight edge, 52% to 47. The one power play they connected on, penalty kill was 1 for 4, or 3 for 4, we'll say that. Devils were 0 for 2 on the power play. Out hit by Philly, only 9 hits, tired team. 20 blocks, once again, still really good to see those blocks up there and people getting in the lanes. Kevin Ball, Will Butcher, Nico Hischier, no surprise when these guys start playing regularly in the lineup, our shot blocking goes up a lot more. And just got to say, a big horns up to Jesper Bratt, who I've seen block. So the last person in the world who should be there picking fights and blocking shots, Jesper Bratt, I've seen the most out of him on both sides, on both fronts this season. So kudos to Jesper Bratt for a hell of a year coming in, late in the season. He didn't start out, that was his 23rd assist on the Zacha goal. That's really good for Jesper Bratt. But anyway, kind of a crap game after the first for the Devils. Just looked like they ran out of gas. End of the season type of stuff. Scott Wedgwood, he looked good. He was making some saves, but it is what it is. End of the season. We got to do some nice recaps coming up soon, and start talking about the draft and everything else. But I mean, overall, wow. I can't believe we made it. Thank you to everyone out there on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live. I'm seeing Craig and Daniel and Cheryl and Omar and Matt. Oh, man. We got so many people that have been coming around all season long on these post games. So I just want to thank everybody out there for sharing your responses, what you think is going on with the team. Yeah, cheers to you guys right here. I got my coffee. Isn't this cool? I got my Death Star mug.
Oh, Death Star.
That's from my niece. That was
sweet.
my niece's birthday, Christmas gift to me this year was my Death Star mug. So
that's pretty cool, man. Hey, sorry
I'm on my second cup of coffee today.
Who let the dogs out? Me. I let the dogs out. So I had to let my dog out. So I apologize. I'm a little late. I was running up the stairs.
Thank you for that 1995 reference right there. That was. I
had to do that. That's more of a nod. That was more of a nod towards our little group chat that we're having right before the show went on.
I fell behind a little bit. Yeah. Matt Freudenberger, we're gonna have to talk. You're in the Sam Wu court. Get rid of Damon Severson. Look at that.
Oh, careful saying that though. Careful saying that though. Thank God for Scotty and Nick. Don't say you're going to get rid of Severson, otherwise you'll be discredited. You're going to get discredited real quick, Scotty.
I shouldn't talk
over.
I interrupted.
All right. Okay.
Should we explain?
No.
Just let that simmer.
No. John P. Rooney, same old for this shambles of a franchise. Another season ends, and we're still in the same place. We are not in the same place. I don't see that. I don't share that opinion at all. I totally see this team growing and getting better. Right there, Pavel Zacha. He only played 56, not even 56 games this year because he didn't even start out the season in the country, right? Or did he start late? I believe they all got shut down at some point, so he didn't even play a full season.
Jesper Bratt didn't start the full season. Jesper Bratt started late. Zacha was here in the beginning.
Oh, and Vatanen and Sammy. That's right. Sammy Vatanen was right. He was the other one that was all right. Either way, it's not a full season. It was only 56 games. I know he didn't play all 56.
You're right.
He got his career high in goals and career high in points. If he was playing an 82-game season, he would have, been up there and what we have been consistently seeing from Kyle Palmieri the last 6 years in the mid-20 goal range and around 50 points. And if we can start getting that from Pavel Zacha on a year-in, year-out basis, someone who's toying in that 50, 60-point range like that on a wing consistently, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. I'll take that. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
But let me interject something with that, though. First of all, I want to say what's up to Devils 1917 on YouTube. And Devils 1917.
Is that your burner account? That's the only person you talk to on the YouTube Live. 1917.
That's not true. That's not true.
Is that Nikki's account? I bet you it's Nikki.
Yeah. Thanks to my wonderful wife. No.
He's like, babe,
no.
I need someone to ask me questions. Give me some softballs that I can land really good and make myself look good on the show. Call yourself Devils 1917. No one will know.
So anyways, I was about to read a really nice statement. Thanks. I was about to read a really nice statement from this person who is not a burner account. Thanks for helping us during quarantine with no hockey and now throughout the Devil season. We tend to forget that. Sometimes there's that the human element of what makes this show kind of nice is like being able to talk hockey. And it, to be honest with you, it got me through a lot of hard times too. You know, this season was not easy by any stretch, and work-wise, home-wise, everything else-wise, there's days where, you know, all you could think about is just like, man, everything out in the world just absolutely sucks right now. It's always been nice to come here and talk hockey, you know, whether we talk over each other, whether it's, you know, thankful for one person or another, who cares? Nobody cares. But being able to sit down and talk hockey with you guys has been great, irregardless of how bad the season might have been. But enough lamenting on that. But
Beer Baron, check your text messages. I got to take you off for a second.
Daniel right here, you know, Zacha, Sharangovich, Brat, Hughes, you know, there's been a lot of good stuff. Kuokkanen, that was a great surprise. Yanni Kuokkanen was a great surprise. Igor Sharangovich was a great surprise. Nobody thought we were going to get that sort of production out of those two. They became a muse for Travis Zajac, you know? And then they became a muse for Jack Hughes. The muse for Hughes. Look at that. I didn't even mean to rhyme. It just happened. Sometimes the corniness just, you know, spews out of me. But, you know, like, I think we've took a lot of step forward. And we've talked about how, you know, we have these other guys coming, you know, the Dawson Mercers. You know, we've seen Nolan Foote come up, although we didn't really see too much. We see Nolan Foote, you know, maybe wasn't really ready for prime time just yet. You know, he's kind of easing his way in there. However, you know, I do think we saw a lot of improvement from a Jesper Boquist, who looks like a completely different player, you know,
more confident
than he was before.
More confident.
Definitely more confident, using his speed, seems more adapted to the game. You know, the other night, on the old Sunday Big Show, you were talking about, you know, we were just going over random possibilities, but you're talking about Blake Coleman. And I think we already have like a Blake Coleman type player in Jesper Boquist there. You know, someone who could kill penalties, a good, solid, maybe third line, you know, player. You know, like, I really liked what I saw from him in the limited amount of time. I was very, very, you know, unimpressed when I first saw Jesper Boquist like a year and a half ago. I was like, you know, because there was hype around him. There was a lot of hype around him. And when he came up, it was just like, this kid's not ready yet. You know, like, it doesn't seem like he's adapted yet. You know, where's all the speed? Now he just looks completely different out there.
Yeah, you know,
but
so there's not to counterpoint you constantly. I feel like that's what's going to be tonight.
No, do it. I love it.
Counterpoint. Boquist, like, I always felt like he never got. Some people say he got a fair shake or he got a fair opportunity to kind of like put his foot in the door, but in my opinion, he didn't get enough time to kind of work through it. There's been some players that get a little bit more leeway. Granted, there wasn't a lot of room for him, you know. So, you know, now that the things are going to be opening up with the team a little bit more. Now that there's going to be a lot more opportunity for some of these guys, training camp next year is going to be super, super interesting.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. All these guys are going to be there.
This whole offseason. Yeah,
Holtz will be there, buddy. Mercer will be there. This whole offseason is going to be extremely interesting, from the draft to, you know, we talked to you know, my God, I can't think. My brain is like fried. Ad nauseum. That's what you
ad nauseum. Yeah, but we talked about the expansion draft to the point of wanting to barf all over our computers. But yeah, there's a lot of,
and we got something wrong, by the way. We have to correct.
What did we get wrong? Go.
We are both our initial thoughts were correct. We don't have to protect Jack Hughes. It's first and second players this year. So like we, you know, and then we thought, oh, well, next year will be his third year, so we have to protect him, you know. But from what I was seeing, unless everyone else is wrong and reading it wrong, like it's you know, first and second player this year. So Jack is protected. So probably means your boy Mikey McLeod is safe as well.
That's right. And sad to say he got stuck on 9 goals this year. But damn,
he did.
Talk about progression. Talk about progression, though. That kid was showing progression, and he was starting to heat up right before they went on that COVID break. And something I wanted to touch on that you were talking about before when we were talking about Pavel Zacha.
Mhm.
One of the things that you didn't really take into account is the fact that Nico Hischier missed a huge chunk of the season.
Ooh, baby,
So
yeah.
you put that
Mhm.
line together for this entire 56, and I believe that Zacha has 23, 24 goals this year. Maybe even that line. You see the chemistry.
Yeah.
Look at the goal that he scored tonight.
It was beauty.
From being against the boards, and Jesper Bratt finding Nico with that beautiful, just like the puck flipping up in the air, and he finds a way to corral the puck enough to send it over to Zacha, who puts it home. I mean, that line, when they're clicking, they could see each other in their sleep. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of promise with the three of them going forward. And it almost feels like, hey, all right, cool. That's cemented as like a solid line. Now, the Hughes line with Kuokkanen and Sharon Govich, you're like, yeah, I don't want to break that line up next year, but guess what? You're going to have some playmakers that are going to be coming up, possibly, hopefully. And that's why it's going to be exciting. There's going to be a training camp. There's going to be, possible PTOs. Who knows how much Fitzgerald actually wants to tinker with this roster? How much of it does he want to keep intact? How much of it does he want to just let roll forward? Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that will say, well, we need to add this, we need to add that. Yes, we do. There's pieces that they need to add in. But they can do it internally. They could do it internally and not have to look externally to do that.
Right. And we talked about, and like, yes, if they're going to do some 1 year, 2 year veteran deals, I definitely think they're going to do that, especially on defense. If they don't feel like, Riley Walsh and Vukojevic and Muhammad Doolin and even Kevin Ball, if they feel like Kevin Ball needs another year down there, they're going to leave him down there at AHL until maybe the trade deadline, try and, trade some players, get some more assets back, and then, bring them up. But we have a slew of people, and and like we talked about, I don't see them. I don't see them making those big flashy. Where I see them making the big flashy move? The same place where they did last year, but it didn't work out. Remember way back when, the start of our crap year. You guys even remember this far back? Corey Crawford retires. Corey Crawford retires. That's where I see the Devils making. Yes. Bryce was talking about it. Yes. Another one that didn't have Jack Hughes protected. So I know I'm correct because Bryce Salvador was on that as well. So yes, he was going through there's a couple of, free agent goalies out there, bigger names, but I think that is the most important thing. And that's where you're going to see the Devils spend the most amount of money, I really think, because think about it as well. We've seen some pretty, and let me tell you, the defense was to blame for a lot of these things, but we saw some pretty bad goaltending there, and we do need someone to help Mackenzie Blackwood out when he does get into a little bit of a rut. To get him straightened out, to give him some more of that guidance, give him that focus, and maybe take a little pressure off of his shoulders. It really did feel like for a while, you're like, oh, Blackwood's not in.
Lost.
damn. And we know Scott Wedgwood. Scott Wedgwood played well for a little bit, but that stretch ended. And he kind of came back down to earth,
right? Yeah, and that's the Kincaid effect. You get a backup, and they show promise sometimes, but in the long run, they're a backup for a reason. And the Devils did sign Nico Daws, and obviously he's going to be going into the AHL system, and which is going to be Utica now. That's a whole other thing too. So he's going to be joining Utica, and he might be a future goaltender to push. He was very highly touted, so he might be down the pipeline, somebody that could push for that starting role. But in the meantime, they need a reliable backup. Scott Wedgwood is a great guy, and
I almost think they need like a 1A 1B thing. Yeah,
and that's what Crawford was going to be. That was going to be Crawford. That was
that's what I think they need. I think they need like a bigger name goalie to play a bigger chunk of games, to just We just can't throw it all on Scott Wedgwood while the team is learned. I mean, Mackenzie Blackwood, if you had a more veteran team with if you're going down to like Tampa Bay, and you got like Victor Hedman in front of you and stuff like that. Okay, you got a whole defense. Yeah. But when you got a bunch of young defensemen also learning the game as well, you're going to get burned a bunch of times, So yeah. I think having that guy that you can put in there for like half a season type of deal, would be, like a Corey Crawford, know?
So
that's where I think we're going to see the Devils like make a big splash. I think you'll see some more, Ryan Murray's and Kulikov type deals for some vets here and there. Who knows? They may bring back Travis Zajac at the end, just for the, I don't know if there's really a place for him, with the emergence of Mikey McLeod and stuff like but his veteran presence is always nice to have,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And I think it's going to depend on him because I know, when he left, there was more of that sense of he wanted to go to a situation where he was going to have a chance to win. And it's just unfortunate. Yeah, he does have a chance to win with the Islanders right now, but
I don't even think he wanted to go. I don't even think he wanted to go this time, really. It's just because like his contract was up and he was just like,
I mean, it's just like,
I guess. They had to really talk to him about it. I think that was also part of the reason why Fitzy was like, I really hope that they go, because they really had to convince Travis Zajac to to go and make that deal happen. So thank you, Travis.
I wouldn't be upset to see him come back, but like you said, it's interesting because there's every role can be filled right now. And I mean, confidently, I don't know. That's a different question. There's going to be a lot of growing pains again next year unless they do address it in different areas. And, I think Fitzgerald has a track record of not trying to bring in, a big time flashy name, but although he's not been the GM of the team for a very long time, where it's been like, all right, well, Fitzy's been here for 10 years. We know his track record. We really don't have an idea, because if you think about it, we have his track record up to now. Very savvy, very kind of calculated, right? Very calculated.
Yeah.
It seems like he has
it feels like it's like a Christopher Nolan movie. The first time you watch it, you may not get it, and then you watch it again, you're like, all right,
I got a first round pick for that. Holy crap!
Yeah. Except Tenet.
Exactly.
Like, come on, like, just can you turn the volume up on the words a little? I don't know why they had the dialogue so low.
Drives me crazy.
The movie is so confusing, and then they turn like the dialogue down. You can't even understand what they. Never mind. I tried watching it on HBO the other day. And I love Nolan, but whatever.
So let's point to something really quick.
Okay, I was just gonna say my opinion. I think if you're gonna see that flash, you're gonna see it in the goaltending area. You're not gonna see it on defense or on offense, because we have some guys. I'm really betting on Holtz. Playing with the big team next year. I really think that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be on one of those wings. He's going to be on one of those wings, and I'm thinking it's going to be on Nico's. That's what I'm thinking. You move Jesper down to that third line, and now you got a playmaker on that third line as well. You have Nico, Zacha, Holtz, and then you got Hughes, Kuokkanen, Sharangovich, and then you could have Foote, somebody, and then Bratt, Boquist.
I don't know, my man. Like, so I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. In the sense
three lines of offense.
But the problem is he has to be ready for the NHL.
I know what I mean. Nolan Foote obviously is not ready yet.
If you go into training camp and you see the kid and you're like, this kid's feet are not moving.
Can I dream? Why you gotta ruin my dream?
Yeah, no,
huh? Why you gotta ruin my dream, Beer Baron?
Because out there,
don't poopy on my dream.
Sam.
No poopy. No little poopies like your dog Poopy.
Duty caca.
No little duty. No little duties.
We've digressed into a baby talk. So anyways.
Oh, Benny. I wanted to ask you, because Benny brought this up and a couple other people on Facebook Live.
Benny Banana?
What's up, YouTube Live? What's up, Twitter Live? Yeah, Benny Banana. You think we see any coaching changes? Do all of the coaches get a pass for this year with everything going on? But we saw a lot of problems with the power play and the special teams. We saw them clean it up, then it went back, and then we saw a lot of the defensive blunders.
I would say the team is reassembled. The coaches are reassembled, but on a very short leash.
Okay.
I think that I don't even think from above, unless they want to shake it up, but I highly doubt that because God, that was always like one of the downsides of Lou. You'd be like, hey, this coach is not bad. Oh, he's gone. Oh, this coach is really. Oh, he's gone too. And
Barry
that was
Trotz.
Like, Zach,
look out, Barry. Zach. Game or two left.
Yeah, look out, Barry. You're next. You're next.
You're losing 6 of 8 at the end of the season. What are you doing, Barry? Do you know who your GM is? Don't play with your career that way. Come on.
That was Zach Parisi's career in the beginning. In the first 9 seasons, I think he had a different coach for 8 of those 9. If I'm not mistaken. But
what did Sutter last like a year and a half or something before he went back to?
He's like, I'm going to go back to Red Deer where I'm comfortable, and he ran away. A little troll. By the way, another person on YouTube Live just to prove that I could have multiple burner accounts.
Devils 1918.
No, Antonio Rodriguez said defense, 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 defense. And then he said it 5 more times. Defense, defense, defense. And this is what we talked about on Sunday. So the team needs to address the defense. Coaching-wise, player-wise, they need to address the defense. It is I know you're so adamantly against them going out into free agency and picking somebody up. And I don't disagree with that because Dougie Hamilton is like the head of the class in that. And Dougie Hamilton's not coming to the Devils right now. They're gonna have to make a trade. They're gonna have to try to retain Ryan Murray and get him back into the system.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna address the defense. If they're going to address the defense, it's got to be through trade. That is the only feasible way that they can do it. Because unless they go for a lower tier defenseman in free agency, which could happen. But if you really want to upgrade the defense,
a lower tier. Lower.
But I mean, I think otherwise you're going to get. You could bring Kulkov back. I think he did pretty fine, pretty okay.
All right. Well, you got. Let's just we did this before, but you got Smith and Ball penciled in there. So there's 2 spots gone, right?
Yep.
Okay. So unless Sam Wu gets rid of Damon Severson, he's probably going to be back there.
Watch it. He has no idea what he's talking about.
So Damon Severson. Okay. And then more than likely, you got Siegenthaler.
Siegenthaler 100%. 100%.
Okay. And now you have Butcher and you have PK. So you're already at you're already at 6 guys. You're already at 6 guys.
You're at your pairings.
So one of these guys might get picked in the expansion draft, like we talked about. Will the Devils, leave? I said, will they leave PK? It will cause. It's only 1 more year. It really doesn't matter, to be quite honest with you, because it's not like we can't afford PK Subban on our team, really. It really makes no difference. But, that's it. It does help us.
It wouldn't be shocking.
Actually, Bryce Salvador talked about it as well. His salary does help us get to, the cap bottom. Yeah. So, but I mean, also that's that's something that you could also do where if you want to overpay for a big name goalie or something like that, you can replace that. I'm saying you can do something like that. So there is a way around it. So it's just something the team, but in all honesty, what PK's got 1 more year left, it's not going to hurt us in the financials.
It's not. But that's also going to come down to if PK is not the one that's not going to be exposed, then Will Butcher will probably be the one exposed.
See, I'd rather
either or would be picked up.
I think if they expose Will Butcher, he's going to get snagged over,
100%.
former Houston Texans wide receiver Andre Johnson, who now plays for the New Jersey Hockey Devils. I totally think Will Butcher.
He had a goal the other night.
I know. No, good. Yes, raise your stock. But if they leave 5%. Butcher, I really do feel like he's going to get snatched.
He's gone,
and I don't want to see him go. I really don't.
Anybody that doubts that, you look at John Merrill. And if you think John Merrill's a better defenseman than Will Butcher, I don't know. We could have a healthy debate about that.
That's why I would leave PK, though. I would leave him unprotected. I mean, we talked about how he would be an awesome. Go ahead.
You're right. He's a brand ambassador, like we talked about yesterday. Mm-hmm. A brand ambassador, and he could do wonders for a team that's just entering the NHL on a multitude of levels. You know, you have somebody, and that's so. Listen, we talked about this last night, and I know like people are like, "Oh, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about." Blah blah blah. But when we were talking about Tortorella becoming the coach of the Seattle Kraken, I went to sleep last night, and I was like, I woke up this morning, and I was like, "Hey, just makes sense." You're trying, and then I sent you that article that tweet that the Kraken sent out, like making fun of Vancouver. Like they're already starting to poke fun of Vancouver because they're already trying to establish that rivalry. They're already trying to get, and Vancouver's going to poke back because they already have that soccer rivalry. Like it's a big deal out there. Those two cities, sports wise, don't like each other. So why not bring Tortorella in and have an established coach, bring in somebody that, some might say failed in Vancouver. Some might say has a grudge against Vancouver. Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. And same thing with PK. Some people are like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like PK's too big. Dude, it makes sense. From a marketing aspect, it makes sense. From a leadership aspect, it makes sense. From, bringing the same reason that the Devils are at where they're at with the cap. I don't know that's a whole another ballpark, because I know Vegas, when they established their team or where they finished, drafting their team, I think they were pretty damn close to the cap ceiling. So I don't know. It depends on how they put the team together, but
yeah, I mean, we have a lot of cap space. So I mean, we're
a
fine.
lot. We're weaponizing. We have a lot. Apparently, that's our big thing for the last 10 years.
We could use it.
But we need to. But this is going to be
to our advantage right now. This would be the off season to do it. It really would be, because then pretty soon you're going to get to. And don't forget, we got some guys to sign here. You got to sign. Let's see. Well, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Merkley. You got to sign Sharangovich. You got to sign Kuokkanen. Mikey McLeod as well. You got to make a decision. You're gonna want to probably sign him and bring him back. They're probably all going to be protected. Bastian, Merkley. I don't know if Maltsev. I don't think Maltsev, because he's got 2 years left, so I don't think he's eligible to be exposed. But you're going to lose one of these guys if you don't. I don't think he's. Maltsev doesn't have enough games played. Maltsev doesn't have enough games played. Yeah. So
Merkley could easily fill that Coleman role that you were trying to fill before.
Merkley or Jesper Boquist, like we were talking about.
We're Boquist,
but Andreas Janssen, I think he'll be left unexposed, obviously. But yeah, these other guys, you got to sign them. Do you bring Merkley back? You definitely bring in Kuokkanen and Sharangovich back. I think you're definitely bringing McLeod back as well. Bastian, 100%. I think you're going to leave. You're going to leave exposed, unfortunately. He's going to be left exposed. Maybe Seattle picks him up, but if they see Will Butcher, I know exactly who they're taking.
100%. If they see Butcher or PK, one of those two exposed over top of Bastian and Andre Johnson, they're gonna take the defenseman in a heartbeat. Just because if you that's always gonna be making me laugh. I gotta Photoshop Andre Johnson on a pair of skates and send that over to you.
Oh man. But we have a lot of young guys then ready to come up. We're going to see about Dawson Mercer. We talked about Fabian Sutherland a little bit. We don't know what we're going to really see from him. But Graham Clark, Alexander Holtz is going to make a big impact next year in training camp. Talavidi, Riley Walsh, Nikita Ahoyuk, Michael. Vukojevic is actually really young. I was thinking Jeremy Grelot or something, I believe, is another defenseman that we signed, kind of like a Stiegenthaler. Tall guy, Canadian kid.
Oh, Oh, hey, yeah, definitely. There's
defense though.
There is a lot of, but and like we said yesterday, with a lot of that youth and with a lot of that core, there's pieces in there that could be packaged and put together, and this is why we keep circling back to this. We keep circling back to the same things, and it's not to repeat ourselves, and it's not because we're like, oh, we don't have anything to talk about. It's because the fact of the matter is all the little pieces that we have right now, and there's guys that are on the team right now that could be expendable. And I hate to say that, because if you take Bastion out of the lineup, there's somebody that could replace him almost immediately. And you could pick and choose who you want to replace Bastion with. I think McLeod, and this is not me being a fanboy, but McLeod has this year. Up before this year, I would have said he was expendable. But this year, I think he proved that he is worth where he needs to be. In the faceoffs, point-wise, like, he's starting to put points together. He's starting to put a decent season together. He makes his presence known when he's on the ice. I think he fills that Travis Zajac role to an extent. I'm not saying he's as good as Zajac, but he has potential to be a Zajac. Two-way, centerman. You put out there in your high pressure points, put against other teams' top lines. I think he's starting to get into that mold, and good, which is what we need. But I mean, there's other guys on the team that, depending on what happens, this entire offseason, who's going to get moved, who's going to get kind of packaged into these deals that could possibly bring help for the defense, or even not even free agency with goaltending. But what if we go after a goaltender that's, pretty well established, that's on the team, but maybe we got to trade for him instead? Because I don't disagree. I think that's one of the biggest things. And Lindy Ruff, and if you don't agree with Scotty, you can suck it, because Lindy Ruff the other day in his press conference, I think it was when they were in that 10-game slide, was like, we need better goaltending, period. We just need better goaltending. Obviously, he's doing that to get a spark out of Mackenzie Blackwood, but point blank, we need better goaltending. And it's true. You look at the backups. Aaron Dell, cool pads, bro. That's about it.
Cool pads, bro. Take a seat.
Pads. Now go sit down and put those on auction when you get shipped out of town. Like, he's a good dude. Great pads. Good for Scott Wedgwood getting the Masterson Trophy nomination this year for sportsmanship and all that kind of jazz. But I don't know, bro.
Some games.
You need to win. That's this. Every sport.
Cue the Herm Edwards. You play to win the game.
Exactly. This is a result.
Hey, at least we're not the Jets. At least we're not the Jets. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Fun fact: the Winnipeg Jets were actually named after the New York Jets. That's a fun
fact. Oof. Yeah. Why you gotta put that on poor Winnipeg? Why you gotta put that on poor Winnipeg?
Because that's the truth. That's the truth.
Well, I think John over here. Well, Daniel's disagreeing. Craig agrees with you. And I think the backups are the problem. I don't know, Daniel. I don't think I'd keep Wedgwood anymore. I think, you let him walk, and I think you go and you try to sign a bigger name, more established goalie who you can throw out there with confidence, next year for like 35 games. Think about it in that sense, 35 to 45 games in that range. You never know. Some people might get hurt or something like that, but I think that's what you're looking for, a goalie that can give that for you.
Hey, do you guys find it kind of weird that there's no mention, especially towards like the end of the year, of Murray getting an extension?
Ryan Murray?
There's like players sometimes where they're like, oh, so-and-so, they're talking about an extension. They're working on an extension.
I think they'll wait and see what's available. What's there. Like if they...
He's a free agent, so...
He's a free agent, but I think Fitzy's probably just waiting to the end of the season here, see how everything plays out. You know, because I mean, like you said before, I mean, we saw it last year where Sammy Vatanen left and then he ended up coming back. What if something like that happens with, someone like Kulikov or, I don't know. I don't think Vatanen's coming back again, but
I doubt.
I don't know.
I doubt.
I think they should re-sign Ryan Murray, someone who's been working with the defense. I don't think they should re-sign him to a long. I don't think they should re-sign him long term, but he's one of those more veteran. See, he may want now like a 2 to 3 year deal, and if that's the case, then well, best of luck to you. We're moving on then.
You might want longer. Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to get longer. I mean, I don't know if he can really say that his play was. I mean, he was hurt for a while too. I don't know. It's a tough sell. So, I mean, I would re-sign him for the team if we could get him a little bit, cheaper, and just for a year deal. Play the whole year without shutdowns and full season and everything like that, and then
I don't know. I give him a 2.
He's still
I give him a 2-year deal where he's. I wouldn't. I hate these 1 year deals. That's just maybe that's just more me, but I hate those 1 year deals because then like if he does have a stellar year, then it's like the chances of getting him back are probably less.
Yeah, but he's older. Like I don't know. I don't think he's going to be. You think he's a long-term solution?
He's not as old as you think. How old do you think he is?
Isn't he like 26 or 27? He might even be older than that, right?
That's not old for a defenseman.
Compared to our team. Are you kidding me? On our team? Like that's old, dude.
Compared to our team, half the team can't even drink legally.
That's old,
bro. Hey, mister.
He's 27.
27.
He's 27, and he'll be turning 28 in September. So if you want to get him for his 28 and 29-year-old, I mean, but after that, I mean, I don't know if you're going to – yeah.
If it was 26, I'd change my – I don't know. Listen, I think he had some really solid games. I think he has some –
yeah.
I think he shows a lot of promise. I would not be disappointed if they bring him back because we need that, that we need the defense just to get better. Just get better. Mm-hmm. Just be better already. Would you just knock it off?
I think that's going to be the plan is to just get one, maybe two established like the Kulikov, like the Murray defenseman and come trade deadline, they're going to try and move PK. If he gets through the expansion draft, they're going to try and move PK 100%. Some team will take a chance on him, take a flyer on him, and they'll probably try to move these other guys when they feel the rookies are ready. When the Walsh, the Hoyuk, when they're ready to take that step up, that's what they're going to do. They're going to make that move. But I think for the time being, they're going to go with like just kind of fill-in guys. They're just going to put a Band-Aid on it until the actual real replacement is ready. Hopefully it's by like mid-season. Maybe at the beginning of the season. You might see Ball, Hoyuk, Riley Walsh, and Ty Smith. Who knows?
True.
But I think Fitzy will go the same way though, like he did last year. Some vets like that.
I think with PTOs and a full training camp, I think it's going to be a little bit different this year. And I don't know if we are going to be shock and awed. I don't think there's going to be one move that's going to be blow our socks off. But I do want to bring this up real quick before we go because this will be my final thought. And I know this is the music is playing. Right now, the Devils are 28th out of 31 right now. But Vancouver, who's only 2 points behind the Devils, have 7 games in hand. So Vancouver has 7 games in hand, so they have to win at least 2 games, which I'm sure they will. And then they'll probably bounce ahead of the Devils, which means the Devils get a minimum top 4, top 5 pick.
Way to jinx them. Way to jinx them like that. I'm sure they will.
You think they'll go 0-7? You think they go 0-7?
Now? Yeah. Because you said that.
Probably.
That's like, oh, our kicker never misses. Like, come on. You don't say that.
I don't know. 0-7, that's a little harder to do. Well, I'll tell you this: if they
have you seen the Canucks play a couple times this season?
If Vancouver wins one game and they're tied with the Devils, they have more point. Their point percentage is better, so they jump up ahead of the Devils. So,
okay,
listen, we're looking at a top 5 pick. All right, Luke Hughes,
let's go, Quinn.
Coming to get you. Go get your stuff. Go get your stuff. Go get your duffel bag. Your brother's waiting at the bus stop. Let's go.
All right, Sam Wu, we're wrapping up.
What about your final thoughts, Scotty?
I already gave mine. Just thank you to everybody. YouTube Live, Facebook Live,
yeah, that too.
Twitter Live, for coming in and joining us all season long on these post games. It was a lot of fun, just talking and chatting and, watching this team, go through this crazy, crazy season. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I got some housekeeping items.
And I was just going to say, don't forget, this season ended a little late. Usually we're ending in April, so short off season as well. Real quick, we'll be back. Don't worry.
Yes. Yep. Sunday night, Wednesday night podcast will continue. Also, there may be a special bonus podcast this Friday. Not going to announce anything. Also, I've gotten a lot of private messages about the playoffs and the playoff challenge. So Scotty and I will try to figure it out, put it out there because everybody wants to participate. The bracket from last year. Also, that guy Ray. I will contact you. Not Ray Leo, the other Ray. I will contact you. What else? Oh. I don't remember. But I'll figure it out. We'll keep in touch.
Was it Damon Severson related?
No, not at all. Just I get a lot of private messages every day from fans, and just want to thank you for all that because we've been through a lot together in the last 18 months. And we're here. We're here to stay. So anyway, going to close the podcast. Till next time. Thank you very much. Let's go Devils.